Top 10 memorable video game bosses I conquered, part 2. Uh, Counting down from number 5 to number 1. Yeah. Alright, so of course we got Yakuza 0, No More Heroes 3, Undertale, Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. That's one particular list, yeah. And then of course Xenoblade Chronicles. Alright folks. So this is part 2 of top 10 memorable video game bosses I've conquered. These are bosses that really left me a lasting impression throughout my lifespan. So some bosses have more difficult versions of themselves. Let's take Undyne for example. Yeah. Pacifist mode, she basically introduces how she attacks, but Undyne, the Undying, is one hell of an example. So in Genocide, she takes that foundation and she cranks it up to like maybe 20 or 50. So it's to a point where you really need to memorize the patterns of her attacks. So Undyne the Undying is actually honorable mention number 2. So whether it be the difficulty or how it is presented, these bosses still linger in my mind. Alright. Kicking off, number 5 is Just Baptiste the Sixth, aka Fu. This freaking idiot. Alright, this is the brash leader of the Galactic Superhero Corps, featured on the cover with protagonist Travis Touchdown in No More Heroes 3. So, there. That's him on the left. Okay. Face to face. Okay. In the formulaic gameplay, Fu steals the show by showing his abrasive personality by killing everything he feels is either useless or threatening, to include his colleagues. It's a little tricky to hit him in his first form, because he has a very small window to attack him with your beam katana, and his attacks are also a little tricky to dodge as well. I came into this battle wrong, knowing that I can really, hack and slash, minus the no. There's a specific strategy. So the aforementioned strategy I mentioned, yeah. Dodge when he attacks, and when you find that window, because it's a short window, you try to attack him. When that window is closed, he's gonna counterattack. So anyway, all right. Number 4, Masaru Sada. This guy, shit, same thing. Same thing. So chapter 12 of this game, Yakuza 0, after fighting a horde of enemies and climbing to the top of Camellia Grove, you face this top brass of Nikyo Consortium. He will test your resolve in hand-to-hand combat. So if you're gonna come in with no strategy at all, trying to hit Sarah, he will counterattack your moves. So I approached this battle wrong, used up all my healing items, and still I failed to defeat him. So at the time I first battled him, he had only a few HP left. So imagine the frustration that I experienced when I was so damn close. So I should only attack after he misses his string of attacks, is what I realized. So he definitely did put my combat skills to the test, seeing as I'm used to breaker style from Majima. Of course, breaker style is a rather easy way to combat enemies, but I had to use slugger style to take him down. So go figure. Alright. Number 3. Sans. Sans from Undertale. Sans, man. Shit, you don't know the half of it. If you haven't played Genocide to the end after Undying, you have no idea what you're experiencing. I've watched this fight many times, but experiencing it yourself is a different thing. So he's the of course he's the final boss of Genocide. He really puts your platforming, reaction, and flexibility to the ultimate test. So if platforming from past games ain't your thing, then he's going to be very difficult. I think flexibility is a key factor in trying to best Sans, because at one point in the fight, he will switch to different obstacles to try and throw you off. Yeah. But at the end, when you tire him out, when you finally get through all the platforming audit BS, um, he's gonna get tired. So he's gonna stand there, talk to you, and he's not gonna let you get a turn. Then, so stand there, and then he's gonna fall asleep, and then that's where you're gonna make your move, and then to the box, and then right down in the bottom left corner you did fight, and then that's it. If I could do it again, I probably wouldn't, but maybe for fun. Anyway. Alright, number 2, guys. Number 2. We're getting down to it, yeah. It's Galdera from Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. Same premise. So, in a paint-by-number JRPG, this optional boss tests you how much you know of the game and pushes you to your absolute limit. So in both games, Galdera has 2 phases. You're required to split your travelers into 2 teams. 8, 4. Each phase has additional enemies / gimmicks to conquer before damaging him entirely. So one example would be it's mandatory to damage with a weapon weak to an enemy, otherwise it's going to counterattack for a lot of damage. For me, I barely made it in the first game, and the second one, I had to use a low-level guide to beat him. And when I did, both were glorious victories. This ain't even the final boss. It's the super boss of both games. So that's a good accomplishment, regardless. You use a guide or you don't use a guide. Hate this guy. Alright. Number 1, guys. He's very memorable because it sticks in my head in my heydays just owning a Wii. Like, you guys don't know, dude. The magnitude of this boss is very memorable. It's crazy. Alright, so number 1 is this guy. Yaldabaoth from Xenoblade Chronicles. Okay, so this golden monstrosity is piloted by Ego. He's a machina in the game. But he's the leader of the Face Mechon. I'm not going to get into all the story, but just the battle itself. So when you battle him in the Mechonis core, he will take control of the Mechonis Titan itself. So Mechonis Titan and then the Bionis, that's like their living space, yeah, in Xenoblade Chronicles. At what point in the boss battle, a vision of the future will appear to have Yaldabaoth destroy all life on Bionis. So that's the place you start out, and then after you traverse through the whole body part, so from the bottom to the top, and then you hit Mechonis. Yeah, that's it. But so with the Bionis /X in the future, done. All life in Bionis is done. That's it, and that's the vision of the future. Yeah. So if all 3 energy devices that he produces are destroyed in time, which is 2 minutes, but they I know it's the same thing, but 120 seconds. So there's a little countdown, and you have to defeat all 3. It's very slow, but it's very stressful because the whole world is going to be destroyed if you don't do it. So if it isn't destroyed in time, the vision will come true and the whole party is wiped out. The whole party is wiped out. All of Bionis is wiped out. That's it. End of the world. So, as this is for all the marbles and the fate of the world, this is definitely the most climactic and the most memorable boss I've experienced in video game history. Yeah. I need that water. So, alright, folks. So we reached the end of Friday night list for the whole season already. So I hope you guys enjoyed the whole 13 weeks of me doing Friday Night List. Kind of started small, but then I kind of built it up to, you know, video game related. Yeah. So next week, actually next season, excuse me. So I'm gonna do question of the week Friday. So if you guys have open-ended questions for me to answer, let me know. I'll look at it and then probably gonna random pick. Yeah. So probably the first couple weeks I'm gonna answer a question that I had in mind and I'll discuss it. So, but what about Friday Night List? I'll tell you. So, what's the future of Friday Night List? So will not go away. I'm gonna put it as a channel redeem. Yeah. Make it maybe 20,000. I have 3 topics to choose from. I gotta go prepare that on my OBS. Yeah. So you choose one of 3, and then I'll do it. So it's gonna be renamed Alcid's Top 5. So 1 redeem per stream, and we'll start from 2 hours into the broadcast. Yeah? And these will be available starting on September 12th. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.